Now, fifth grade writers, I am so incredibly excited about your essays. When I was looking at them last night online, I was amazed at seeing how people are writing about everything between whether we should have more homework or less homework, whether or not people should own handguns for self-protection at home, whether or not people should do more cooking at home and less eating out. But the topics are amazing because they will change people's lives. And when you share them with your family and friends, you will be shocked at how much their lives will change by reading them. Today, I'm going to teach you that as writers, we push ourselves not only to write from ideas that we come up with, but we oftentimes look at our personal narratives, at our small moments. And we can actually turn those small moments that we've come up with days, weeks, months earlier into essays. So, what I want you to understand is that when I look at my writing, oftentimes I go back and I say, you know, I've written about some things that are really important to me in my life. What I want to show you is I want to show you how I wrote this story. You may remember it way back in September. If you take a look up here, this is the beginning of a story about my sister and how she cut her foot when she was wading in the Scott Fountain on Belle Isle. Give me a thumbs up if you remember this story. Many of you do. Hands down. Thank you. Here we go. Ouch! Ouch! Ah! My sister cried as she stepped gingerly in the Scott Fountain on Belle Isle. What's wrong, Andy? I called out over the roar of the falling water. Ouch! My foot hurts. I think I stepped on something. And then the story continues. This is of particular importance to me because this is my sister who died last year of cancer. So there may be an opportunity for me to share this story with my niece and nephew, her son and daughter, and they would really appreciate this since they probably don't even know the story. Now the cool thing is that I can turn this into an essay because this really makes me think. When I went back, I thought I have something to say here, and it's more than just a small moment, which is important, but it's more than a story. I have an idea, and I want to be able to share my idea with people because I'm thinking about something. I'm thinking that because there was glass in that fountain, that Belle Isle, as I look at it now, and as I look over it in my whole lifetime, hasn't really been well cared for. Raise your hand if you've been to Belle Isle before. Has anyone been there? A few of you have. It's not really been well maintained, and I don't think it's at its highest potential, and that bothers me. Usually as essayists, we write about something that's on our mind, something that bothers us, something that concerns us. So we have to be aware of that, because when we write something down and we share it with other people, we could change their actions. We might move them to do something. Now, I think I skipped a slide, but here's the beginning of an essay. And my question is this: why am I so concerned about Belle Isle? Have you ever been to Central Park in New York City? Did you realize that Detroit has an equally beautiful green space in the middle of the Detroit River? A hidden jewel to many suburbanites and city dwellers alike, Belle Isle Park was designed over 100 years ago by Frederick Law Olmsted, the same landscape architect who drew up plans for Central Park. Unlike its more famous contemporary, Belle Isle has been neglected for more than 40 years, as budget cuts have forced a significant reduction of services on the island. My family has a long history of enjoying the beauty of Belle Isle. And then it goes on and on from there. So the idea here is that I wrote a story about my sister on Belle Isle. And I thought about that and how she cut her foot on that glass. And I thought, it reminds me of how the island is in pretty bad shape. And how it really could be in so much better shape if somehow we could find the money to take care of it more and use it more, because it is an absolutely beautiful space for everyone in the Detroit metro area. Now, what I'd like you guys to do is I want you guys to be aware of the fact that because we just got these seats, I want you to know who's number 1 and number 2 in the meeting area here, so listen carefully. Between the and 3 and now you have 2. So here's the plan, my friends. This is what I'd like you to understand. First of all, turn and face eye to eye and knee to knee in 3. Ready, go. 3, 2, and 1. I look at that team of 3. Look how beautiful that is. They made a nice little triangle there. That's exactly what I need. Thank you so much. My friends, listen carefully. Partner 1. Raise your hand, partner 1. Hands down. Now, don't talk, just think. Think of your small moment narrative that appeared in our anthology. Think of your small moment narrative and think of that topic, okay? Now, what I want you to do, raise your hand if you've got that thought in your head. My number ones, you do, hands down, thank you very much. Now, partner number one, what I'd like you guys to do is, I would like you guys to look over here. Look at these questions, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, thank you, sorry. These are the questions that writers ask themselves of earlier entries. Okay, now I ask myself these questions. Why is it important to me? What's the important thing about this? Why am I remembering this? How does this connect to my life? What other entries connect to this? What does this make me realize? Why did I write this? What do I want readers to know about this? Oops, you can take the narrative and you can turn it into an essay by thinking about it this way. You don't have to ask yourself all these questions. I mean, I would start with maybe 3. Start with maybe 3. Okay? Now here's what I want to happen in about the next 30 or so seconds. Partner 2, I want you guys to pick at least 3 questions, or as many questions until I say stop. And I want you to just ask your partner. Ask your partner. And if they say, well, my topic was about the time I fell down the stairs and chipped my tooth. Then partner 2 would say, well, how does that connect to your life? And you say, well, it was really important because I had no tooth for like a whole month, and then I had to go back to the dentist. It was very, very painful. And then they say, well, would you want to, why did you write that? And they might say, because it's something I'll never forget. Going around with no tooth, everybody noticed that. And then they might ask 1 or 2 more questions about those personal narratives. So, question, I should say, partner number 1, you have an idea in your mind, you're thinking about your small moments. Partner number 2, you're going to ask partner number 1, you're going to interview partner number 1, and ask them at least 3 or 4 of these questions. But I want you to do it in a whisper voice, very quiet, okay? If you understand what the directions, can you give me a thumbs up so we clear? All right, hands down, give you about 30 seconds, ready? Find a comfortable stopping place, everyone, for your discussion. Now, what was amazing as I was walking around, as I was listening to some conversations that people had, and I could tell that people were thinking about things for the first time, that they had never really thought about their small moment topic in this way until someone asked them about it, which is one of the ways that these questions can be powerful. Now, here's the next step. You remember yesterday when you watched the video of Mrs. Cook and me, and we were using these thinking prompts, which are posted up here, as you know, and these are ways that we, of course, can help grow essays. Because when we write, we have an idea in mind, a thesis statement, you could say. It's an idea. And then we have to prove that idea. And we have to prove that idea with examples and with evidence. And the way to do that, the way to grow that proof, or the way to grow that evidence, is to ask questions like this. For example, another example is, in addition, this makes me realize. And so here's the deal. Partner number 1, now you've had a chance to think about your small moment topic. And now I want you to think about how you would write it like an essay. And the way I'm going to have you do that is start off. So I might say something like, I am concerned about the condition at Belle Isle. It bothers me that it's full of trash in some spots and it's not very well cared for. And then I might stop, and my partner would say, for example, and I would say, well, my sister cut her foot in the bottom of the fountain when she was wading in there trying to get our sailboat out. And then someone would say, this makes me, what does it make you realize? Or this makes me realize. And I would say, well, this makes me realize that maybe there was no one who cleans up that fountain, and they just kind of leave everything there, and they don't sweep up or pick up. So, partner number one, you guys are going to begin to tell your essay like a storyteller would. You're going to write in the air. You're going to tell the story the essay like a storyteller would. And then partner number two, you are going to say those thinking prompts out loud. And again, try for about 3 in the amount of time I'm going to give you. I'll give you about 45 seconds or so. And I want to see if you, partner two, can help partner one grow those essays. Grow those essays, okay? So put your hands down, because I want you to do this. I want you to do this supervised. Okay. If you understand what I want you to do, give me a thumbs up. Are we clear? Yes. I want you everybody hands down. Supervised, ready, go. Okay, would you please find a comfortable stopping place for your conversation? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, those of you that were partner one people, raise your hand if you found that partner two helped you stretch your ideas out a little bit more. Partner two, raise your hand if you realized today, partner two, that you could use these thinking prompts to help stretch people's ideas out and get more information from them. Great, hands down. So, writers, today and every day, when you sit down to write, you always ask yourself the questions that writers ask about earlier entries, about narratives that they've written before. Why am I writing this, and why is this important to me? And when you grow your essays, make sure you grow them by using thinking prompts like those. Okay? So think about any other ways that you could use these techniques to grow your essay writing as you write today. Don't forget that you are going to upload this to your wiki, and then you are going to send me the link before you leave today. So I need you to stand up in 3 or less. And I need you to go back to your seat and begin writing in silence right away. Ready, go.